Hi, everybody. Nothing's crackling yet. Episode 207 of the Blathering Live. Oh, we got a lot to get to tonight. It's a packed show. And when I say a lot to get to, not all of it's good, which is why we do want to cling to happy news of engagements and love. Even though I'm somewhat dubious at the timing, we'll talk about that. We got producer Steve in there to get me through all that there as well. We got your calls, maybe some GOT tonight. I didn't check in with Jared the Type Pilot. I think we're good to go. And then we got a great science segment tonight. Godzilla. Could have happened? That's my pitch. Steve, you like that pitch? That's my, hey, it's Fred Willard character. Hey, what happened?
It wouldn't be the craziest thing of the year, to be honest. Like, it probably wouldn't be.
I'm chugging caffeine. All right. All right. So here's the thing. I don't even feel I need to apologize. I contained myself on the show Monday. I want to thank you all for just bearing with me on technical problems. I use a Rodecaster Pro 2. Love the Rode people. Still have a Rodecaster 1. It doesn't work as good for what we do here. That might have been the problem. It could be an interaction with StreamYard. It could be my 9-year-old MacBook, or not my. This isn't my MacBook. What is this? My gaming laptop that I've had for 9 years now. Could be a lot of things. We got through it. I couldn't even use my board at the end. It just was like not even just. It was frozen. It was like when you got that spinning wheel of death. Steve, afterwards, we ran a test. We did some things. I updated some firmware. So far, so good.
We tested. Things are running fine. We're knock on wood. I don't know if you can hear me knocking, but I'm knocking a lot. We'll continue to knock as long as it doesn't come up on the microphone. But yeah. No, we feel good about it, Ken. We tested again. We made a few sacrifices to the audio gods, and we're good to go. I'm
going to Vegas next week for work. We'll have a show Saturday. We'll not have a show Monday. Have a show next week with NFL picks debuting next week, or the return of NFL picks. But in Vegas, I do plan on winning some sort of jackpot so I can buy some new equipment. That's the goal next week in Vegas. I'm working.
An excellent business plan.
Right? It never fails. Never fails. Never fails. We already got a super chat, and I think this is the great way to sum it up. Dr. Addy says, your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. That is very much the way to look at it, Steve. We're all in high school. I always say high school is real life. And two teachers just got married.
Yeah.
Or getting married.
Travis would be a fun gym teacher. Taylor Swift as your English teacher would get a little. That might after by like March you'd probably be like, all right, come on, lady, like this is a lot. Yeah, I think by like March or April you're like, oh man, I'm ready for this final.
She'd be the teacher that all the kids have a crush on.
Oh yeah, of course.
We all had those teachers.
Travis too. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But But you got Ms. Swift's class. Oh my God, you got Ms. Yeah. Oh, we had that in high school. We had that. And I'm not talking. Well, a lot of you might be thinking about the scandals. We had one in high school. A year after I graduated, there was a scandal. One of those scandals. It happens. But it was the teacher. She and a student. It was that. It was one of those ones. Steve, does your school have one of those?
We sure did, Ken, actually. I'm not going to give away any identifying information, but yeah, we had a couple of those. We specifically had a teacher who attended a after senior year party and had, one of those situations. And they actually skirted by on that because technically this was no longer a student. So that was like that was a big uproar. That was a big talking point in the school, all sorts of stuff. Yep. But no, we had juicy details with like teachers that were married to other teachers, but then inter-teacher adultery. It was all it was like a soap opera in our high school.
We had a couple teachers get divorced. Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were
like hospitals, like schools. Apparently, they just I don't know, man. Those teacher lounges are crazy.
Different wings of the school after a while. There we go. Laserbolt's asking about what's going on with fantasy football. We'll have the updates on that as well. I'll say this, Steve, going to drop you out for 1 second so you don't have to be on screen should anything go awry. Also, we're broadcasting where once again in America, this is America, as Childish Gambino once sang, a act of violence in school, Catholic school, has once again shook our nation. I always want to acknowledge there are tragedies world round, tragedies happening every hour, and we are just exposed to it. So I don't think you have to choose one. the genocide in Gaza, the continued genocide in Gaza, the killing of reporters, the starvation of children, all the stuff you see on the news every day. It's hard to process. It's hard to take, but I don't want you to look away until those moments where you need to take the breath. I understand that. I'm perhaps one of those things this week. I'm wearing my Ukraine hat again because yesterday was the second largest attack in the war with Russia, from Russia into the heart of Kyiv. Harrowing video of buildings burning, people screaming for help. That's still going on. And then you had the shooting in Minnesota yesterday. I got nothing. I'm not one of the, this isn't a pontification. I'm not a commentator with anything more to say than other than pain, disgust, and here we go again, and here it's going to happen again. There is nothing more I can say. At what point I've been on this show before and said, we need action, we need this, we need that, and we still need that stuff. But I just think, sadly, I'm at a point where I have to kind of look at it and go like, no one wants to stop this. That's our reality. No one wants to stop it. Like I saw great comments yesterday. When I say great, I mean you hear them and you go, this is so horrible. But that person saying something that I think sums us up so tragically well. So one politician saying, thoughts and prayers. These kids were literally praying when this happened. I saw a lot of great points of, look, Second Amendment people. And I always say, the caveat I always say is I've been around guns my whole life, never owned one, but I've shot them. Used to work in a job where off-duty police officers would sit and have lunch with me while they're cleaning the AR-15s. I don't have an immediate reaction to them. I've been around them, know to use them to a certain degree. So I always put that caveat out there just so people know my perspective on it. But you know, the 2A folks, it's all about, as the Simpsons once said so well, about keeping the Queen of England out of our houses. In this case, now the King. It's all about this, we will protect ourselves from tyranny. And then you look out in the news and you see what kind of looks like tyranny and fascism on our streets, though in this case the National Guard's cleaning up some trash in D.C., literal trash. It's been great. Hopefully they clean up the sidewalks. And that's been part of my frustration, anger, and also just exasperated, I don't know, laughing at this situation now. Like, you are so shallow. Those who cling to these gun rights, you're so shallow about it that the very thing that you think or you need this for is happening, and that's never been the reason. It's never been the reason. But I also understand that this show, The Blathering, is full of relatively like-minded people, different perspectives and different experiences, but we're all relatively like-minded. So coming here is just kind of a gathering, a family, a community. I have nothing else to say other than I'm so sorry to the children of our country that we just completely seem okay with this. So that's all I got. We'll get on to some more news, though. Steve, you're a parent, your wife's a teacher. These type of days are tough.
Yeah, no, there's not a good there's no good ways to talk about it. And I think the thing I've always said is, not that I'm anyone, but the thing I've always said is a lot of people talk about wanting to do stuff about it. And I don't think it's, you're right that they don't want to do anything, because if they did, we'd see action. It's that no one wants to do anything. No one wants to pay the price to do the action, right? That's really at the end of it, because this is a very fixable problem. It's just that the people in charge, and not only that, but a majority of the population at this point, frankly, is still ingrained in the culture that we're okay with this to some extent. And whether you agree with that or not, I mean, this is just a byproduct of something that is unique to our culture in this country. And until we are ready to pay a price to stop this, which is, you know, not having that culture as much as it currently is present, you know, it's not, in my opinion, but who am I? You know, I'm just producer Steve, so.
You are just producer Steve, and thank God you are. No, I get it. Like I said, I always want to acknowledge things. This show is not in a silo. We do silly things. You and I were joking in Discord earlier today about kind of what I was saying up top of just like, you know, serious stuff. NFL picks, Micah Parsons traded. But it's also kind of life. That's also how we all have to function, right? Like, you get up every day, you check the virtual newspaper, and your heart just crumbles, and then you got to run out and feed the squirrels and get to work. You know, like, this is what we're asked to do. So this show is a reflection of life.
It's exactly right. It is a virtual newspaper. We're all getting pinged this information. This is all getting put in front of us, really, whether we like it or not. And so this is what people are talking about. So this is what we're talking about. This show is very much just a reflection of what's on our minds and what makes us happy, what makes us sad, and we're talking about it. So Micah Parsons getting traded makes me happy. These horrible, terrible things make me sad. That's just being human.
Being human, and I think I'm more ready to embrace it. I didn't want to promote my new Blathering mailbag episode yesterday, but again, like at any point in any time in the world, there's something horrible going on, and it's just this is the reality. But when something is immediate, and you're in this country that's being directly affected by it, and you kind of get, I feel strongly about letting that cycle kind of play out before I promote anything. But also at the same time, I think it's not getting easier, but it just somehow makes more sense to me that it's like death, squirrel, football, death, hey, video. Like it's how it is and how it's how it is.
Yep.
There's a lot of other news out there, though. There's some things we might want to jump into here. You were tracking the word batshit is one of my favorite words, but RFK Jr. has kind of taken the joy out of the word for me because it's so devastating, his batshit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The epitome of health, RFK Jr., who is in charge of our nation's health agenda at the moment for its citizens. I don't know the exact quote, Ken. I just know he said something about being able to look at a kid and judge whether or not their mitochondrial like status is okay, and that was determining whether or not they were healthy. And he said he looks at kids and just sees that they're unhealthy. RFK Jr., by the way, doesn't have any kind of medical degree or credential. So yeah, between that and wanting to limit COVID vaccine access, now they want to review vaccines in general, SSRI medications, as they referred to as. This is a weird agenda thing that has a weird grudge against addressing mental health issues, even though that's one of the things they point to as an issue. So I really don't get it.
Right. Well, yeah. We don't have the exact quotes in front of us today. This isn't your deep dive news podcast.
I don't get paid to be a journalist.
Yeah. You were at one point. But yeah, some of the quotes about him. But yeah, you're so right. That's one of the things that I think when I throw my hands up a lot, because you'll still hear those talking points. I've said on here so many times, so it's a remix. But just the people that look across me into my eyes and go, it's not the guns. Yeah, no, I know the gun doesn't have two eyes and legs and a cape, and it's a Disney character, and it gets up and goes and tries to fucking shoot somebody. Like, yeah, I know someone picks it up, but the people who have access to it might be a problem, and you keep calling it, hey, it's a mental health problem. Great. What do you want to do about that? And then on the flip side, you have this dipshit who's just, this is probably the antidepressants. That's what I think. Probably hit the antidepressants. Oh, God, that's what we're fucking dealing with.
Scarily accurate. Yeah, I'm gonna find the actual quote here in a minute, because it is important. But no, Eli actually makes a great point in the comments here. I just want to point out Eli says, I saw someone saying we should ask RFK Jr. about midichlorians and see what he says. Yes. Why are there no Star Wars nerds on our Senate panels that are doing these accepting interviews? We needed some nerd on one of these committees to ask him about midichlorians, to have that on the record. That would have been amazing.
Don't forget we have a Star Wars fan in the White House. You saw that Star Wars Day post.
Of course,
ripped red lightsaber leader. He loves the Star Wars. Absolutely.
JD Vance ruined Magic the Gathering cards for me. So.
Speaking of JD Vance, if you want to look up the RFK thing, I just as I was settling down here, I recorded a new Pop Rockin' Radio, so check it out this week on Patreon. A lot of great 2025 music. Some of my favorite bands showing up here this week. But I was looking at JD Vance sitting down, talking about how if there were a tragic thing that happened, and I had to take over the role of president. Man, what a wonderful 200 training days I've had. I've had some really intense training that's prepared me for the job. And I wish I could give credit, but someone commented when I was scrolling this of like, all right, I'm now more convinced there's a problem with Trump's help. health. That like those ankles are telling us something, and we're seeing it because now Vance is openly talking about. I don't know. Like if something happens, just kind of getting y'all set for a soft landing.
Vance has also he's been walking around with this like weird confidence in the last 2 weeks. He's taken 8 vacations already. So it's like he kind of knew to like take the PTO early kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like get it out of the way early because he knows he's going to actually be busy next year, or at least pretend to have to work. So between those, yeah, they absolutely know something we don't. So here's the quote really quickly from RFK Jr.
From RFK. Okay.
This, again, guy in charge of the health agenda for the United States. I know what a healthy child is supposed to look like. Just want you to picture RFK Jr. as he says that. I know what a healthy child is supposed to look like. I'm looking at kids as I walk through the airports today, and as I walk down the street, and I see these kids that are overburdened with mitochondrial challenges with inflammation. You see, tell it from their faces, from their body movements, and from their lack of social connection. And I know that's not how our children are supposed to look.
Mm. Are they supposed to look like their 11-year-olds working in the coal mines in 1909? Like, what are they supposed to look like, Bobby?
Like they got trapped in a tanning bed for 3 days and then smoked a whole carton of cigarettes the entire as soon as they got out.
First of all, sir, this is a Hudson News. Could you get out of my kid's face and quit staring at my kid in an airport? Like, right. What are we doing here? Yeah, that's. Oh my God, yeah. And it's one thing to have some wackadoodle opinion or to have any kind of opinion on health, right? Like I'm in a health kick. Yeah, I believe in working out. I believe in water. Maybe we're all too isolated. That's always been the problem with Bobby Kennedy Jr. to me, Steve, is that he says things that you can find in the core of it. You're like, oh, I understand. And what happens is you and I look at it and go, but you're batshit. You're batshit crazy. Other people, including some people in my life, go, he's right about that. And it just sounds right to them, and they don't investigate it any further. And he's a Kennedy. He's got Kennedy hair. Like, they stop there, and it drives me crazy.
That's what Ken is. RFK Jr., the first ballot, first overall pick in the Nepotism Hall of Fame.
Can we do that blather bracket when you come back from paternity leave?
Like, who has ridden off the last name more than this guy? Seriously.
I mean, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good list. If he's the number 1 seed, what do we got? Like Gracie Adams at the 25th seed at the bottom. Like we just gotta
right. Yeah, no, we can. Yeah,
go
Allison Williams, the actress, or something like that. Right, exactly. Yeah, we'll just go. Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. We'll do that. Put a note in that. Put a note. So many other things out there. I don't do this. I have a lot of. I think I'm in a good mood because my equipment's not on fire and freezing yet, so I can have a show.
I'm knocking more.
Yeah, so I don't want to. I don't want to change the tone too much here, but I just want to kind of maybe keep my approach here. Today, it is the 70th anniversary of the murder of Emmett Till, and that's one of the watershed moments in culture and civil rights and the push and call for civil rights. It's a horrific piece of our history, but just in hearing that 70 years, that's a long time, you think, but like there's people in my life that were alive when that happened. Steve, you said something to me in chat today or Discord chat. Like they heard the headline.
Right. There's people walking around, watching the news, watching what we're seeing, that they may have been like, yeah, sure, they were 10, 12, maybe as old as 15, whatever, young. They were young people at the time, but that was one of those seminal moments in the news and in the culture that was such a huge swinging moment in the civil rights movement back then, as far as putting it in the public eye, and yeah, just the idea that that's not ancient history. And the fact that it's already getting rewritten in a sense in so many, and when I say that, I mean the way that we look at those things, going all the way back to what we said last week with museums going woke and, de-emphasizing the evils of the mistakes of our country. So stuff like that. Yeah, man, it's all very, like, yeah, we bring it up because it is a reminder of we're slipping is really, I think, the quickest way to look at it, or the easiest way to put it, right? Like we thought we were making progress for so long, and it really feels like we are going backwards in a sense, or at least losing our footing on progress.
I like that. I like that you said that. This is why producer Steve's on the team. I think that's a really smart point. It's a good way to kind of sum it up. I've brought this up before of a lot of MLK pictures are in black and white, and that has a real powerful kind of effect on you where you can distance yourself. That his death was like under 10 years before I was born, right? Like that was fresh. Like think of 10 years ago, think of Taylor Swift albums 10 years ago. That's not ancient history. That's like, oh yeah, that was 10 years. That happened almost in my lifetime, the assassination of MLK. And to say, we're slipping is a great way to think about it. Not a great, none of this is great, but a great point, because I feel there was kind of a push of a post-racial America. We kind of found, this is like, I think even growing up in the 90s, you'd hear these things, affirmative action, that seems like hogwash, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, we don't need it, the vibe. And it wasn't passed down to be my parents or anything. It just was kind of the vibe from the 80s into the 90s of like, we got this. We solved it. Like, what are we worried about?
Yep.
And that spiraled into where we are now.
Also a child of the 90s, grew up with Nancy Reagan, the Dare Lion, and telling us racism was based like Martin Luther King Jr., the Cosbys fixed and sports fixed racism. Like that's what you thought as a little kid. Like it was we're all good now, right? We never even, I was very fortunate in that regard, in that I went to school and went to several schools as a kid where I saw lots of different people from all sorts of backgrounds. And so I just never really understood the idea of looking at someone or looking down on someone in that way, right? So I feel very fortunate that I was brought up in those kind of environments. But in school, believe me, that was the message. That was like, nah, we're all good, y'all. You guys figured it out. But it was also like, I think the kids also we were kind of on, like as kids back then, at least we were kind of on the same level of like, we didn't make fun of each other for that kind of stuff. That wasn't like that. You didn't do that because we kind of, it was like unwritten rules of baseball in a sense of like, no, we don't. So, then I don't know, something happened.
Yeah, and it's two white guys with microphones on the internet are probably not the ones to have a detailed, nuanced conversation about it. But from growing up in that environment, growing up in a mostly white suburb, that was kind of that wasn't what I was going out and doing, saying those words, treating people less than or anything. No, I didn't. And so that's what almost gave me the false impression that it was okay. And then I moved to a big city and you face a lot of stuff. But I remember being in college in 1994 in my screenwriting film class, and like a girl, a black woman, brought up some stuff going on, during Reagan administration. She was the first person I heard, with all sincerity, saying, "Yeah, the CIA put crack in our houses, right?" Like, she said it out loud in a class setting, and every one of us, all white boys from the suburbs, went, "What are you, crazy?
Right.
That doesn't happen." And it was like we just pushed her out of the room. So even though I was in a post-racial world, we obviously weren't. And I think part of the last 10 years, this push for woke, as RFK and his team would probably say, or Trump and his team would say, but it's been kind of realizing, oh, shit. And you're right, it's slipping. And like Mike Fink said in the comments, got to keep standing up. Keep standing up. Yep. Anyways, there you go. Two white guys solved it.
We figured it out, Ken. Good job. Good job, Ken. We should let's do what white guys do really good and pat ourselves on the back.
Hey. Welcome to the Blathering. We solve things here. We're going to talk about the big news. James Holmes, he's still up late in the UK, gifted 5 subs to the channel. James Holmes also saying some nice things here in the Super Chat. Ken and Steve versus a Yeti in a swimming pool. No flippers, but air bands for those who can't swim, including the Yeti. One-shot harpoon gun between you and your child-sized baseball bat. Who wins? All right.
Okay,
you and me.
Down. Slow down.
Versus a Yeti.
In a swimming pool.
But in a swimming pool.
No flippers.
No flippers. What are air bands?
I'm guessing those are like water wingies.
Oh, little water wings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
just want to see the Yeti in the water wings, honestly. That would be funny.
To quote Martin Short from SNL, I'm not a strong swimmer, but I can swim. By the way, the Yeti can't have flippers or air wings either.
Okay.
But one-shot harpoon gun.
Between us.
Or child-sized baseball bats each.
Okay. Now
but in a swimming pool.
Yeah, uh-huh.
This is why I love doing the show. How define child size, like little league bats, like 27 inchers?
Well, here's the thing. Child bats are also
ounces,
metal.
Yep. What's that?
Kid bats are metal.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 27 ouncer, maybe?
Sure. I mean, I'm just saying it's not like a wooden bat. You know. So would you rather us both have a bat, or
In a
one of
pool,
us
though.
have a harpoon?
It's got to be the harpoon. I'll tell you why, Steve. Because if we're in a pool, do you remember the story? You remember Greg Jeffries, the greatest prospect in the history of baseball in 1988?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Greg Jeffries, Mets. He ended up having a nice career, not the career that we all thought he would. But he used to train as a kid. His dad would put him in the pool with a wooden baseball bat, or maybe just any bat. I don't know if it was wood or not. And he'd have to swing in the water under the pool.
Right.
Build up strength.
Yep. Yeah.
So the bat's going to have too much resistance unless we can get them over the water. And I just don't know if that gives me enough strength. I think we go harpoon gun.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we have to go harpoon. I don't like our chances with a blunt melee weapon in the water against a Yeti. He's just, especially if we're in the shallow end, he's going to be taller than us. He's going to be able to he's going to be out of the water. He's going to have the high ground, right, in this scenario, period.
Yeah.
So no matter what. So, yeah, we go harpoon gun. Here's the question, though.
Yeah.
Who's pulling the trigger? Because it's one shot.
I trust you more. The shot.
Really? Okay. I fired a real gun once in my entire life, Ken.
All right, I have more experience, but I think I trust you. I think it's a 1-2 punch. If you can get the shot off, I charge in at the same time.
Okay.
Again, we're in the water, so
Right.
I think the key is: are you and I prepared to drown the Yeti?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Is can we get a shot that incapacitate him enough to then drown him? Like if you.
There we go.
If we each hold if we shoot him with a harpoon and then we each hold a leg, would we be able to do enough to drown him before he just like claws us apart with the arms? I don't know. I feel like we have to immobilize the arms somehow.
Yeah, I think we do. I think the pool is the great X factor that James has brought up. That I like our chances in the forest with Bigfoot, as we've talked about before, and not a Yeti in a pool. I don't think we come out of this one.
No. Well, honestly, I think those are away games for both of us, regardless.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you, James, for the thoughtful question. To help us transition as we move from news to the biggest news of the week outside of the tragedies. But look, like I said up top, you have to find some joy in life. And it finally happened. Everyone figured this would happen, Steve. Travis Kelce, one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the NFL, and now apparently one of the greatest podcasters ever. Man, his broadcast skills are great. He asked for permission of the Swift family, mom and dad, mom and pa, and he got permission, and he went down on one knee, presumably. Maybe we'll get the play-by-play with a correspondent call from Addie. But he went down on one knee. He asked Taylor for her hand, and as expected, Taylor Swift accepted. Steve, we have the engagement heard round the universe.
This is the biggest story of love since the latest royal wedding, Ken. This is absolutely. I mean, this is going to be. This gave hope. Where the United States is entering its getting married and having babies and having hope era, according to the conservatives, which is my favorite thing because the right is totally taking credit for this. We talked a little bit about that on backstage. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But this makes me happy. I think this is a win for himbos everywhere. This goes to show that you can just be a golden retriever as a human being and marry the biggest rock star. Look at Travis Kelce. He won. Okay, he can stop playing the game now. He's arguably the greatest tight end of the history of football. He instantly started the greatest, like not the greatest, but the most popular podcast, number one podcast in the world. Right. And he's marrying the number one rock star in the world, biggest pop star of a generation.
He's marrying the universe's sweetheart. Again, generally speaking, I don't need anyone in chat's personal opinions on who you feel your crush is. I'm just saying in general, $1.1 billion, Taylor Swift is universe's sweetheart.
That was another thing about the net worth. I saw their combined net worth is now $1.167 billion. And Ken, that's like me saying that between me and Travis Kelce, we each have 50 Travis Kelce and I have at least 50 touchdowns in the NFL. That's true. I don't have any of them. He does, but that statement is still true because his net worth compared to hers is like peanuts.
You know who the for a long time the all-time baseball record for home runs by siblings was Hank and Tommy Aaron. Tommy Aaron did not contribute as much as Hanks. But he did play, and he did have humor. Yeah, no, and I'm all on board for them. Like, I've been on board for their love from the beginning. Like, the guy makes his play, he shoots his shot. There's a lot of folks out there on the athletic side of things that, don't contribute to sports' reputation. I think he, just as people, I think he's a good dude, right? She would have snuffed that out early if he wasn't what he appears to be, right?
You have to think so. I'm not the kind of person to like judge or critique other people's dating lives or choices. Love is love. You do you. Well, you go for it. But I mean, I just mean from a, it seems typical. I know, again, love is love. You do you, have fun, as long as everyone's, happy and not hurting each other. But the idea of just like the whole spectacle of it all, and like the idea that it is its own economy in a sense, like whoever designed that ring just made their career. Whoever's going to plan this wedding is going to make their career, assuming they're not already like the greatest thing in the world, right? Like, it's like LeBron James picking your city to like play basketball, right? Like everything has changed. Everything's different now, and so this is it's the reaction to it was something that it was just because of all the bad news lately. It was refreshing to see everyone on the internet just kind of like be like, oh, look at those kids. Oh, isn't that sweet? Like, that's cute. That was nice.
I think it's good. We are going to have a somewhat serious discussion on Anytime tomorrow about the power of platform. It might land somewhat critical on Taylor's recent silence on big things and everything. But also, it's a positive conversation about those who have contributed. I was looking at John and Yoko. I was watching Yoko's doc Bed Piece again the other day. Just got me thinking. It's a whole big issue. So that's kind of more serious stuff that I want to discuss tomorrow on Anytime. The only thing I want to say is, like, I'm dubious, like I said up top. These are two of the biggest brands in the world right now.
Yep.
And I don't say that cynically. She's perhaps one of the biggest brands on an individual level in the world for all time in terms of the sports world. And now beyond. He's got one more year left. Barely. Like, I'm quite frankly. This has to be it. He's slowing down. It's just an age. He's been playing for a long time. His brother retired, 2 years ahead of him now. So he's got one more year left. Maybe two, but seriously, no. One more year. These are two big brands. It needs to be treated as such. So I'm not saying this completely 100% cynically. For me, it was the timing that took away a little of the magic. New album on the way, new NFL season. NFL needs the business. And their teams got together. This was highly coordinated, which is not new. Hey, we're going to get engaged. We know the photos are going to do something. Let's sell exclusively to people, right? This is not new. This is Hollywood's been at work for a long time. It's not like Tom Cruise signing women to 2-year contracts to, quote, date them, which happens. This is real love. That's the only thing I looked at. It was like, you should have done this in May. Right. Should have done this. Not a week. It's a week till kickoff.
Right.
And you're going to be in the crowd, and you got a new album out. But, they're not the only ones. They are not the only ones that does. That's the only thing I had that was kind of a negative on it, Steve.
Yeah, I have to think that this is definitely Travis's last year. Had they won the Super Bowl, I think he absolutely would have retired. I don't know if that means he would have proposed then or anything. Would have won like $150 if he did. But, I think he definitely would have. I think, him losing that game the way they did made him want to go out and kind of give it another shot. So,
which I agree with. Yeah. But he's what, 34 now? 34, 35?
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't know. That sounds right. That sounds
still
right.
Old in the NFL. Young in baseball.
Yeah.
Still old in the NFL. So
especially for that position because it's very physical. He plays super physical.
Well, he's tall. You don't see a lot of old tall guys.
Nope.
You don't.
No, and that's the other thing. And especially if you're Taylor Swift, you don't see a lot of old, tall, big foot like these. There's not a lot of like 75, 80-year-old 6'5" tight ends. Ken, there just isn't.
No.
Right. So I don't blame him, and he's played a lot of football. So
play a lot of football. So
he's got nothing to prove. He's probably one of, if not the best tight end ever. So
no, absolutely. So we'll take some calls later on it, but I guess it would be remiss if we didn't bring in Addy to talk about it. It seems like we got a science segment later on in the show, but Dr. Addy Blathering backstage. You guys have been
Whoops.
going deep.
I'm sorry, I did my
You
last
guys have been
name.
going deep into this news here. So, Dr. Addy, how are you doing? How does this news find you?
I mean, August 26th was a big day for millennial women, Ken. The pumpkin spice latte came back and Taylor Swift got engaged.
Holy shit. I didn't even know about the pumpkin spice latte. What a time.
What a day to be alive.
Yeah, but look, we got to find our joys. We got to find our joys. What joy did this bring to you? The pumpkin spice latte we can talk about in the fall, but what joy emerged for you?
This brought me a lot of joy. I respectfully disagree with you, and you can call me naive for that. But I don't think it was as staged or managed as you think it was.
Oh, I 100% disagree. You're that's not an opinion. That's what happens. That's my point to you. This is absolutely they met with their teams to figure out when to announce this. That's my
Taylor Swift doesn't do anything because someone told her to, Ken.
Yeah, but you're
in her life.
You're misunderstanding how the industry actually works. I'm not calling you naive. I'm just saying this is absolutely something that you have to run by your teams and say it's coming. Your PR team's like, it's two brands merging. It doesn't take away the love from me. They're real, but you have to run that by everybody. You have to know it's coming. The announcement's coming.
I'm not saying nobody knew it was coming. I'm just saying I don't think anyone told her she had to do it on this Tuesday in August. I personally think she picked this Tuesday in August because it was 13 days after her album announcement, and she really likes the number 13.
Yeah, that's synergy with a new. That's part of her lore. That's the part of the brand, right? So that's a good thing. These aren't bad things. This is how you do it. It's not a bad thing.
For me and for a lot of people like me, Ken, it boils down to the fact she was never the popular girl. She wasn't the prom queen. She was a daydreaming tryhard with a vision for her life. And for myself, I can really relate to that. It seems like you have it all, but you can't find somebody to accept you for everything that you are. Seeing her finally get it has given a lot of people hope, especially as you and Steve pointed out, in the absolute shit show that we currently live in. For nearly 20 years, she's been dragged, she's been disrespected, she's been underestimated, and she just kept showing up bigger every time. When Reputation didn't get any Grammy nomination, she said, well, I guess I just have to make a better album, and it might be my last album if I don't. Seeing the woman who sang I Wouldn't Want to Marry Me Either, she would have made such a lovely bride, what a shame she's fucked in the head. She doesn't want money anymore. She just wants someone who wants to be around her. Still, while singing about fairy tale love stories, she carried so much heartbreak, often publicly, and now gets to have so much joy. And she's doing this at 35, an age where women are often judged for not having been married for 10 years with 2.5 kids. I am a hopeless romantic. It gave me something to believe in. She's proved that you don't have to make yourself small or dampen who you are to make someone stay, which is a lie that women are often fed, and that you can be the most successful woman in the world and find someone who will love you for it, which greatly affects me on a personal level. The pick me, choose me, love me fairy tale doesn't just happen in movies or on TV. It can happen in real life too.
Yeah, if that's what you're looking for, I absolutely think that's part of what's going on, and part of the joy, and part of the great anticipation from her fans, and part of what will be the legacy of it too. It's those real things you're talking about there. So that's some wonderful joy to pull from this, and I'm glad you shared that. Now,
you're welcome, Ken.
I wouldn't want to be stuck in a marriage ever again in my life, so I don't know why you guys find joy in that. That's the only thing I'll say.
I mean, I'm not married, so I find no joy in it.
There you go. I tell all my friends in relationships, hold on, but the other side's good. Anyways, where do you go from here as a Swiftie? What happens now? Is there a countdown to this wedding? What are your expectations for it? I want to know that.
See, Ken, this is where the Blathering needs a different Swiftie correspondent, because I'm not one of the crazy Swifties. I don't care. All I want is for them to be happy. Like, they'll tell this was the opinion I had on the engagement. They'll tell us when they'll tell us. the wedding. My money is that the wedding is going to take place sometime after the NFL season is over, but before she goes on tour again. And I think it's going to be at her compound in Rhode Island.
She has a compound in Rhode Island?
Yes, she has a very large, very expensive house in a weird coastal part of Rhode Island called Westlake.
What's the connection to Rhode Island?
I honestly think it was just one of those things. So this house actually inspired one of her songs on Folklore, but I think it's one of those things where like she was late night Zillow dreaming one night and like bought an $8 million mansion. Like,
yeah, I mean, I do that. I look at Zillow when I win the lottery. I've got like 7. I'm fascinated with people who could live in LA who don't. Who are on this level like her. Rhode Island. That's a curveball I didn't expect. What are the chances that it's so super small that we don't even know that they elope and they go to an Applebee's and rent the back room?
I don't know that it'll be that, but I could see it being either super small or super private. They have both not been afraid to be like seen together and to have this sort of public romance, which is part of what has made set Travis Kelce apart from some of her past relationships. Right. But I could see it being really low key and just like, that's when they sell the pictures to People magazine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's going, I really don't think it's going to be like the Jeff Bezos affair. Or anything
that was kind of my question, and then what kind of grace would be afforded her if they had that kind of affair versus the Bezos affair, which was obviously rightfully criticized. It's like, how do you strike that balance? And if I was in that spot again, I'm going down to a courthouse. We'll meet I'll invite the Hyam sisters over. We'll go to Chili's, and then we'll announce it to the world and do as he said. Take all the pictures.
I don't think it'll be that low key just because this is the girl who wrote Love Story at like 15. Like,
yeah.
She's been dreaming of her fairy tale wedding for a while.
Now she'll get it. Laserbolt says, I admit the biggest problem with Travis is the fact that he's a KC football player. No Detroit Lion fans will be at this wedding. Well, Addie, I appreciate you sharing. You guys can dive in deeper on backstage. But this is huge. This is the news we were waiting for. And it truly did stop the world for just a little bit.
It was the good news we needed, Ken.
I agree with that. I think with having 2 seconds to go, is tremendously valuable when we're all living with existential dread every hour of the day.
And to have a number of people tell me they were the first person they thought of when it happened. Like, that just made me feel good.
See, she's got to open up the wedding to like VIP fan access. No charging on the tickets.
Oh no, I saw a hilarious idea on Instagram. She needs to pull a Willy Wonka and put 5 golden tickets in the new album.
That's brilliant. I absolutely would endorse that. And then if that's the case, we'll just go buy as many albums as we can for you. We will be like those parents in Willy Wonka, except for the nice versions of that. All right. Addie, you can come back from some science in just a few minutes. Yes?
Yes, sir.
What is the thing that we're proving if Godzilla is real?
Jared asked me, Jared the TIE pilot asked me, could Godzilla exist?
I can't wait. All right. Dr. Addie, come back for some science. Important side. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome, Ken.
Amazing. We're going to do Jared here with some GOT in a second. What do you think? If they do golden tickets, how many albums do we have to buy for Addie till we get it?
Well, obviously they would do like 13 golden tickets because she's obsessed with the number, right? And then I think we would, I don't know. This makes me think of like one of those things. Why don't we start like a lottery cohort? If the Powerball is up to like 950 million, at what point does it make more sense for us to just buy a mass amount of tickets to do the math, and I mean, because
yeah.
we could all split X amount of, I don't care. There's how many people in the country? Can't we all just like come together and decide, hey,
Okay.
we'll socialize the lottery winnings so we all get $1 million?
So the Powerball is at 950 million.
Yeah.
Draw is on Saturday.
Right.
Oh, Jared says no GOT tonight. Well, Casterly talk is dark. Thanks. I'm kidding, Jared. Yeah, okay. I might go buy a ticket because I couldn't afford groceries today, so I might as well get that. Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good. What do you think, Steve? Does she get married in a Chili's or an Applebee's?
I would prefer Chili's. I think the ribs are better. Yeah, I just think Chili's is just better in general. Yeah, Applebee's is pretty rough. I was really sad the last time I was in an Applebee's. It just looked sad.
Not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
Chili's is still great.
Yeah.
Chili's is still great. We can go to Cracker Barrel. Yeah. Kyle Harlow brings up Cracker Barrel. What an absolute... Going to the news at the top of the hour. With this, we got another horrible school shooting, which we talked about at the top of the hour. Literally, not even a hack joke. More people upset about the Cracker Barrel logo than the shooting. I got people on my Facebook timeline still going, see, we yelled at them and they went and they reversed the wokeism and put Pawpaw back on the logo. It's absolutely insane.
This is white replacement theory. This is white people being oppressed right in front of our eyes, Ken. They literally took the Cracker Barrel guy off of the Cracker Barrel logo, and people lost their minds. It's literally the exact same thing. They just took the dude off of it. And at the end of the day, they're probably just like, you know what, this logo is just like probably easier to like reproduce and put on stuff and like put in logos and stuff on the website, and it look better on like a phone and everything. You know what I mean? That's really all it is at the end of the day.
Really
some poor graphic designer's like thinking to himself, oh shit, I don't even care. Like,
and it wasn't even like a good redesign. A lot of people are talking about the shittification of things and all this stuff. Right. Like, yeah, I got it. But I saw the other way. We're like, there's no way you can't put that Cracker Barrel logo with Pawpaw on it on a hat or on a shirt. Like, the stitching's impossible.
Right.
It's like an old NFL logo. It's like the Patriots rolling around with the, Patriot Paul or whatever the fuck that guy was on their helmet. Like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. And Cracker Barrel's got to move forward. Oh, I guess not. Make America Great Again includes shitty logos. That sounds good. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, should we get Jared? So I'm Jared on the show here tonight. Let me put you back in the call position. Pat the Patriot. Thank you, Carl. Jared the TIE Pilot. How are you?
I could have been better right now. Like I said, no GOT tonight. Tonight I toast my my meme or my grandmother, 99 years old. Probably I got to say goodbye to her last night. We'll put it that way. Probably the last week, her last weekend on Earth.
That is
her mind's still there, but can't move anymore. Can't swallow. So
yeah, okay.
She had her. Everybody got together for her, but. I toast Terry Willett tonight.
Terry Willett, what a legacy! 99 years. That's an amazing amount of time. I had no easy way to go through it. No easy way to process it. I had the chance to say goodbye to my grandmother at 94, 95 years in a similar fashion, where I got to say goodbye, but she was still fighting for a few more days, and it's just tough, Jared. So all the love with you, but putting one up for your grandma here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And she's been a tough old broad too. For the family joke has been for forever that she's going to outlive us all, because she never had. So her secret to health was she didn't have to work, because my grandfather was an Army brother who got a good pension after Korea and all that jazz. And she never had to get her driver's license ever, because she got drove everywhere. So talk about two stressors. Never having to into your life. Yep.
Yeah.
But
that's so sorry. That is remarkably eerily similar to my grandmother. Never really worked and never drove. Never had a license.
Yep. 5 kids, 8 grandkids, and 6 great grandkids.
Wow. And here you are, part of that legacy. Then, what are you going to carry forward from her? What's some of the things, thoughts, the lessons that go forward with you?
She was a big, kind woman, big on love, big on food, big on making sure everybody is happy. at all
Yeah.
times. That old school love kind of thing.
Mm.
She was one of those, taught you how to just be a good person, and she was never a judgy person on anybody's stuff like that. No, oh, that's just grandma being an old racist kind of shit like that. Nope.
Right. Nope.
Never was her thing. Oh, always was a kind person to everybody and anybody. When I came out, she was proud of me, kind of thing. She told me she was proud of me last night, which that was nice. So,
well, yeah, man, we're proud of you too, and you can see the influence on the kindness and warmth you've always brought to this show, buddy. So I really mean it when I say your legacy lives on. Her legacy lives on with you.
Yeah, she will. So, and then, unfortunately, she's my last grandparent. But like I said, 99 years. She had some funny ass stories back in the day.
I mean, we talked about it in a almost negative way up top of people who've been around so long that they were there for some of the horrible headlines that are still affecting our world. That's one way to look at some long life. Then there's the other aspect of 99 goddamn years. Like the amount of things, and in an era, this isn't like 99 years from 1820 to 1920. We're like, all right, we added kind of a plane and kind of cars. This is like she's here for the robots. Like she was there when we were trying to figure out do we want to stick with these cars? That's an amazing amount of the world of existence to go through.
Oh yeah, we used to ask her questions about it too and everything, and she, every time something was just flabbergasting her. Like, she used to talk about watching the moon landing with my father and my uncles and aunts and whatnot, and just like couldn't believe it. And then every little step forward, just 1927, she saw World War II, Korea, television.
Oh yeah,
modern highways.
She's like 9 when Babe Ruth retires, or even maybe 10 when Babe Ruth retires. She could have read in the newspaper, "Oh, Babe Ruth retired."
She probably did.
And she probably went, "That goddamn Babe Ruth who cursed us Red Sox." Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I mean, she saw Sinatra sing.
Wow. Oh yeah. What is one specific memory you are willing to share with us, Jared?
I was before they realized I was autistic, my big safe food as a kid was cheese. The amount of cheese this lady would feed to me, I would never hear a no from Meme. And the amount of grilled cheeses I have probably contributed to heart conditions later on in life. But my Lord. And also she always had, I think it's, you pronounce Celeste, like it's a C, frozen little pizza.
Mama Celeste?
Yes, that's it. I was going to say Joseph Scrimshaw. Always had Mama Celeste and maple walnut ice cream in the fridge. Always.
Love it. Well, maybe this weekend you should have some maple walnut ice cream.
I think I'm gonna.
And a Mama Celeste. Love that there. And now, Jared, when you said you came out, you're talking about being in a punk band, right? Like, was that what it was?
No.
Okay.
When I came out by, she was all good with it. I mean, out of all the grandkids, that one was an easy one for me because I had 2 cousins who were teen moms randomly, coming to big family Christmas. It's like, hey, that's a belly you got there.
There you go. Jared, I appreciate you sharing your memories. Anything else you want to say?
Nah, I just, I thank everybody for the love in the chat. I appreciate it all. It's been a great community. We love picking on you, Addie, for your Taylor Swift, but we also love your passion.
Absolutely.
And yes, absolutely. I need my Godzilla lore tonight.
You're getting that next. Addie's coming back in. We're gonna do some Godzilla. We also got some other calls. If you guys, I know some other folks are trying to call in. Aiden and Hugo, J&B. We'll take those towards the end of the show after some sports. So far, technically, I'm holding up here tonight. Jared, thank you. Good tragic reason to not have GOT, but I'd rather spend time talking to you about this tonight than
And like I said, celebrate the good times. So everybody stay safe, hug somebody you love, and we'll see you next time.
There you go. Thank you, Jared. Good plan. I did try to hug a squirrel, and it didn't let me, Steve.
Don't try to hug the squirrel, Ken.
Look, man, I see videos all day of people with squirrels on their laps, and Kylo is this close to letting me scratch his little neck. He's this close.
Where could you just like start with like a gardening glove at least? Like you're not in a position to like get squirrel hay fever right now.
Look, what do you all want from
I don't
me?
know if that works, but
Like, I don't encourage people to get into relationships. I think you all should avoid them. But I am lonely, and I'm only talking to squirrels. So I got to pet one of them.
it's okay. All right. Okay. Just be careful. Just be careful.
I'll be.
If you see foam, please back
No, there's
away.
no foam.
Okay,
There's no
okay,
foam. They
okay.
get these
I'm just-
cute little
okay.
dogs. Little
I'm
cute
just saying.
dogs. You got these
Just
little. Okay. Now, the skunks I'm not going to hug, though they're cute too.
No. Don't.
All right. Are you ready? I'm so excited. This is kind of a new approach to the science. We've been doing 60 Seconds of Science with Dr. Addy. It's one of our more requested segments. But I agree with Addy's. We want to kind of change it up. I always like kind of changing things up. But sometimes it's hard to look at the news headlines and just go, well, science is dying, and then cover it. Sometimes you want to go other ways. And I think part of that is celebrating the glory of science and the glory and the of learning through smart people like Dr. Addy. So let's do this here. We don't even have a fancy title for it yet. We don't even have theme music. Do we have any theme music? No, that's Young Guns theme music. All right, let's bring Dr. Addy back onto the show. Hello, Professor.
Hello, Ken.
What are we doing? How we do? What should we call? Is this still 60 Seconds of Science?
I don't know, because it's going to take me longer than 60 seconds to explain this.
Look, man, I didn't have another graphic ready. Okay, I'll
understand
fix some text. Okay.
That graphic's going to need to go away anyway, because I brought graphics of my own.
Oh, here we go.
Excuse me.
All right. Maybe can I? So wait, Addy, you brought graphics. Let me. Can I switch this?
Well,
Hold on.
I gave them to you.
Okay. See, that's how does it, Steve? That's oh. Yeah. Okay. I'll get them up. Okay. You start talking. I'm gonna work on those graphics. I was gonna try to have that up on the screen. All right. Take it away, Dr. Addy, and the.
So tonight's question comes to us from Jared the TIE Pilot. If you have questions of your own, you should become a patron on Patreon, and you can post them in our Blathering Discord Science Club channel. Tonight, Jared the TIE Pilot asked me, could Godzilla exist? And the short answer is no. But for the much longer explanation, we need to talk about physics. So in physics, there is something called the square cube law, which says that as an object grows in size, its volume, and therefore its mass or weight, increases by the cube of its linear dimension, while its surface area only increases by the square of that dimension. So basically, you have a lot more mass than your bones can support. The larger your mass multiplies by itself 3 times whatever your length is. So you get a lot of meat on your bones, and your bones reach a critical point where they can't hold you up anymore. Also, we have this thing called gravity constantly pushing down on us that doesn't help with the mass and the bones holding you up.
By the way, you tell me when you're ready with the graphic.
Go ahead, Ken.
All right, we're going to do a switch here. Are you still there, Addy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Here's the graphic.
Okay. So this is some example creatures. Not pictured on this graphic because it would be exactly 1 pixel high is the average North American man who weighs 180 pounds. The first thing that you can see labeled number 1, that's an African bush elephant. An African bush elephant weighs approximately 13,000 pounds. A T-Rex, number 2 on this graphic, weighs approximately 15,000 pounds. The largest known land mammal is an extinct relative of a rhinoceros called a Paraceratherium, which is number 3. That weighed 40,000 pounds. And the largest known creature to have ever existed on land is the Argentinosaurus, number 5, the giant dinosaur on this graphic, who weighed an estimated 200,000 pounds.
Wait a minute. Time out. You saying number 5 was real?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Continue.
So I did some research. According to the internet, the original 1930s King Kong, not pictured on this graphic, would have weighed about 60,000 pounds. The 2005 King Kong from the Peter Jackson movie is number 4 pictured here for scale at about 120,000 pounds. Now, the Argentinosaurus, the 200,000 pounds, that's usually considered the cutoff for what a land animal could weigh before it collapsed under its own weight due to gravity and the square cube law. So like that dinosaur is as big as you can get. Blue whales are bigger, and that's because being underwater and the buoyancy that you get from water helps things grow bigger underwater than they can on land. Now, you'll notice that Godzilla is missing from this graphic because Adobe Illustrator would not let me make Godzilla big enough to go on this graphic.
God damn Adobe. So it is number 6. Godzilla would obviously next to King Kong. I get the comparison. Would dwarf everything here. Okay.
Yes, I couldn't I couldn't even get Godzilla's eyeball on the graphic. It would have been too big. The Showa Godzilla, which is the era of the first 15 Godzilla films produced by Toho between 1954 and 1975, that Godzilla weighed about 40 million pounds. It would have been almost 200 times larger than the Argentinosaurus pictured on this graphic. The MonsterVerse Godzilla of the Godzilla versus Kong film that came out a few years ago, in both of those creatures, Godzilla and Kong in that movie, both weighed approximately 180 million pounds and would have been 989 times as large as the dinosaur on your screen right now. So unfortunately, Jared, Godzilla in any iteration could not exist, but Peter Jackson's King Kong could.
Okay, so there's hope. What you're saying is there's hope. Now, is that the 50-foot woman in King Kong's hands?
Admittedly, Ken, graphics not to scale.
Okay.
Dr. Addy wanting to keep the Blathering copyright whatever neutral, only used images that were in the public domain.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. It makes sense to me. It's amazing. All right, so this is heartbreaking news for Godzilla fans, unless there is a Godzilla in the ocean waiting to emerge, but also pretty fascinating.
He can't emerge, though, Ken.
Because it's too big. It can't exist.
If he emerges, he will collapse under his own weight and die. So even if there is a Godzilla-like creature waiting in the oceans for us, he will have to wait there indefinitely, or he will be dead.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Counterpoint
from Steve. Yes, Steve.
His atomic breath allows him to have some kind of, it's like a helium balloon, right? Like maybe that helps him, because that's what I'm thinking. Like, you notice how Godzilla fights in the middle of the ocean as if he's standing upright, even though he's in thousands of feet of water. How the hell does he do that?
He's big.
But he's not that tall. He's not 4 miles high.
Times that.
Right. But so how is he, you know what I mean? Like, how does he fight in the middle of the ocean as if he's standing upright? Because his atomic breath makes him buoyant. That's my theory. Science,
hold on. This is 2 drunk guys at a bar cornering a professor. Are you suggesting that his atomic breath releases some sort of pressure on his bones? Where are you going with this?
No, I'm just saying his atomic breath makes him lighter. It's lighter than the air, so it allows him to counter what Addy is saying, and that his giant size would crush him under the weight of gravity. In the same way that helium lifts a balloon and fights the gravity.
Okay.
Godzilla's massive lungs full of atomic breath, and the fact that he's also a fictional lizard we're talking about, allows him to to do this.
True.
Really, it just comes from, I don't understand the fight in the Khan movie where they're fighting at the aircraft carrier and Godzilla's like standing straight up and they're in the middle of the friggin' water. I don't get it.
He's on heels. Yes.
Of the cube square law, Steve, your mass cubes your length. So you get much fatter the taller you are.
Is that how those little blue pills work? Never
Yep.
mind. Okay.
If you have a Godzilla for more than 4 hours, call a doctor. But Addie, an actual professor versus these two drunk guys at the sports bar here. Could atomic breath allow you to float?
This is why I don't go to bars.
If you don't go to bars, how are you going to meet your Travis Kelce?
I expect him to just show up at my door one day. I can.
All right. How off are we on this?
My counterpoint is going to be that the helium balloon does not weigh 180 million pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and atomic breath isn't real, so it's like the Force. It can be as strong as we want it to be, damn it all. Come on, work with me here.
The Force is real. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Ken.
No.
The question was not, does Godzilla exist in the movies? The question was, could Godzilla exist on this Earth that has to obey the laws of physics as they have been set out by whatever force you want to believe set the universe in motion?
So, fine. Yes, and you've done an excellent job answering this question here, by the way. This is great. Final thought for me, and maybe on the segment here, Eddie. So, if Godzilla stood up out of the water, the bones just start cracking? Does he fall? How does this play out?
Almost immediate pile of goo.
Goo?
Blobfish.
Godzilla
turns into a blobfish.
Goo in a skin sack. You remember in the now problematic second Harry Potter movie when they remove all of the bones from his arm and it's just jello?
I'm just going to say yes.
Fat in a skin sack.
Fat in a skin sack, which I think is also a great prog rock album from '77. All right, there you go, Steve. We've answered the question. Can Godzilla really exist? Not at that size.
That's it exactly. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, that's disturbing. What are you showing me?
It's the blobfish. That's what they look like because they exist in the deep, deep, deep water where there's like incredible pressure. When they get to the top of the surface, they look like that because they're not used to our level of atmosphere up here.
Just stay out of the oceans. All of us. Stay out of the oceans.
Away games.
Away games. Dr. Addy, thank you. Beautiful segment. So to be clear, for those we now have in the Discord, OG access through my Patreon page at patreon.com/KenNapsuck. We now have the Blathering Science Club and the Blathering Health Club, and it's been great. We've been posting accountability stuff in there, but also now in the science, you can come here and ask a question like this, and Addie, you're going to endeavor to answer it.
Yes, please bring the questions. This one, not the sort of question I envisioned answering, but I had so much fun researching this one, Ken. So please ask the questions that you've always been afraid to ask. You think you know the answer, but you're not sure. I always tell my students there are no stupid questions. The stupid questions are the ones that you don't ask because then you never find out the answer.
Absolutely. Well said. Great work, Addie. I'm glad you had fun doing this. It was fun to go through.
See you next week, guys.
There you go. There is Dr. Addie's fine work on Godzilla's. I think you had a good theory. And if we had another plate of wings and a beer, I think we could get to the bottom of the theory.
Look, and I saw a special on the Discovery Channel when I was a teenager, Ken, that was like a scientific documentary that tried to explain that dragons were real and that said that they would eat charcoal or eat some mineral off a mountain, and that's what allowed them to breathe fire. And I was like, I don't know, actually wasn't even a teenager. Maybe I was like 9. I believed that for 30 minutes and then realized, oh no, this is like a fake documentary. Someone is going to know what I'm talking about. This was a real documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel, which again, child of the 90s, I was taught that was all real. I was taught
right.
I was supposed to trust the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
And it was like, dragons are real. Here's what really happened.
Look, dragons are real because that's how I'll get Amelia Clark to these shores again. Okay, so I have to believe.
All right.
I have to believe.
Okay.
It's either she shows up here or I pet a squirrel and get rabies. Okay? I don't make these rules.
Oh, no. We all know how that's going to end.
A little bit of sports talk. Then we got some calls. JMB's going to call in. I know some calls were queued up earlier. Kind of a full show tonight, so I didn't take calls earlier before the segments. But that's kind of what Thursday's for. Saturday, I'll be back with all of you here. 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll do an hour of power. Also talk a little bit of the Beatles and the anthology coming back and how it feels like 1995 again when I used to have hair down to my belt in 1995. But Kyle Harlow's right. I think I need to do it for all of you. I need to get rabies so I can have a rabid Ken Blathering, as Kyle Harlow says. There is I'm going to talk a little sports, but I had have you had a buzz ball?
A what now?
A buzz ball. Have you had a buzz ball?
Is that a drink?
Yeah, it's like a little can that's shaped like a ball that's supposed to get you perhaps crunked up, or I don't understand the marketing. I don't know if it's like Four Loko or it's like just kind of like a White Claw in a different kind of can. But I'm thinking of having one of those on air. Ken Plume's been daring me to have one on air. I just, maybe we'll do an actual power hour one night.
Oh, that would be fun. No, I've never had one of those. I was immediately thinking of like those little juice things that came in a barrel as a kid with like the little foil top. Dude, I could put down like 6 of those in one sitting. I swear to God, just like chug those. Things were so good. It was just sugar water, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it is. It's just alcohol added to it. So yeah, I'd probably like it then.
Maybe because you and I are the kind of like the last 2 people that drink in the world, and
Seems like it.
Yeah, I have such a weird reaction to it. I don't want to offend anyone because I think sobriety is very important and it's very serious. I'm like one of the only people that drinks around my and it's just driving me crazy. It's actually driving me crazy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So you and I. Maybe we'll do an hour of power. We'll actually do some buzz balls, but I gotta look it up. I don't want to die because I've seen teenagers nearly die from Four Locos at the old job. It happened one Friday night. 4 separate incidents. 4 kids dropped because of Four Locos. And it haunts me to this day. And
that was probably back when Four Locos still had like the good stuff in it, right? That was before they neutered the Four Loko, because the Four Locos are like not anywhere near what they. This
was like 2008. It was like they had just showed up and like
those were OG Four Locos.
Yeah, I in one night 4 kids independently. Not like they were all hanging out, just one there. One the fire department kept showing up and being like, again, we're like, we're not handing them out. Like we're not like welcome to the mall. Here's a Four Loko. All right. Okay, a little bit of sports here. This is NFL kicks off next Thursday. We'll be doing NFL picks. But, Steve, big trade in the NFL this week.
Huge trade happened today in the NFL. Yeah, huge trade. Micah Parsons, the all-pro linebacker from the Dallas Cowboys, was traded to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks, a ham sandwich, and a defensive tackle that I don't remember his name of at the moment. Ken, that's less than the Seahawks got for Russell Wilson.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, 2 first rounders, but they're going to be late first rounders. They're going to
be late first rounders because they're late first rounders because Green Bay is good. Dallas just paid Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and as soon as Micah Parsons got traded, he immediately signed a 4-year, $180 million, 160, I don't know, between that number dollar extension. He's getting paid. He's the highest paid non-quarterback ever.
How old is Micah Parsons?
20. I want to say Micah Parsons is 27 years old, 28 years old. He's on his first big contract after getting drafted. He's not 30. He's under
26.
30.
He's 26.
26. Okay, there you go. Yeah, prime. Literally the prime of his career. He might be the best defensive player in the league.
So this wasn't the Cowboys having another Herschel Walker trade.
They wish. Yeah.
This was okay. You're going to have 2 first rounders because you have your own picks. You get the Packers picks. But then it's also in conference. I don't know if that matters as much anymore. But, like, let's say the Cowboys do have a good season. You get to the championship game and you're facing him in Green Bay now?
Considering the Packers have knocked the Cowboys out of the playoffs a few times recently, specifically, what was it, 2 years ago, when the Cowboys were heavily favored to go pretty far. This is a huge deal. All those times Aaron Rodgers broke the Cowboys' hearts. I was shocked that, they're not going to trade him to a division, but if you're not going to trade him in division, the Cowboys or the Niners would be the 2 places that are like the closest thing to the rivals the Cowboys have that aren't in the NFC East. So, no, it was definitely a huge surprise. It's also just exciting when one of these kind of dudes gets traded, right? It's not often that one of the best players in the league gets traded. So that's always exciting. This kind of resets what we're looking at in in the NFC North, especially. I know Lauren Romo, Laserbolt, all of our Detroit fans are not going to be happy because they have to deal with him twice a year now.
I got a text from Mark Ellis that I can only assume was him drunk at 3 PM, going, Pack got the Super Bowl. But my thing is, and I want to talk about the Cowboys. I actually love your theory that the Cowboys are the Dolphins of the NFC and the Dolphins are the Cowboys of the AFC, as much as it hurts my soul. But here's the thing. I don't know if in football, it might be a little different. So I'm asking your opinion. But in baseball, outside of the Dodgers last year buying their way into a championship, yeah, I said it, Brady. The favored teams in the offseason or oh my God, they made that move, they don't win. It doesn't happen as often as you'd think. I don't know if that translates to football. It's a little more one-on-one week to week. What do you feel? Packers, they got a good team.
They have a very good team. They have not. A lot of Packers fans, I think, will even tell you they haven't invested in their wide receivers, and I think they have some holes in other places on their defense. Maybe cornerback is what I believe I was reading. I'm not an expert on what the Packers do or don't have, but they were a good team. I mean, they lost to my Eagles in the playoffs last year, gave us a good fight, but this definitely solidifies them as a contender 100% if they weren't already. That
Sure.
team hinges on whether or not Jordan Love can stay healthy for the season and for the playoffs, like most quarterbacks or most teams. But it definitely shifts a little bit of the balance of power. The interesting thing is what this does to the Cowboys and what their future looks like. Again, they paid Dak Prescott, they paid CeeDee Lamb, so they're not about to just try to tank for Arch Manning, I don't think, because I don't think anyone's going to be able to out-tank the Saints this year. So it's going to be really hard to see kind of what the Cowboys do. This kind of seems like Jerry was throwing like 2 first-round picks. Jerry wants to win another Super Bowl before he dies. Like I don't know if that's going to happen with just amassing first-round picks, man. People don't want to your point, like the free agent teams that get popular or the free agent signings. Because of the way that there's a salary cap in the NFL, players want to go to places where they think they can win or where they know they can get the absolute most money. And that usually means that they're the best player on that team and they've kind of resolved to, I'm either going to get the bag or I'm going to get a ring.
Yeah, or the third option, move to Miami so I can party but not worry about winning or playing. Barkley, Eagles, Rads in chat says with Saquon, that was an example of a big signing that, this makes you contenders. But I feel the Eagles had not an uneven season. They won the champ, but you know what I mean? Like after a while, there was parts of the season last year where I was like, Eagles are a top 10, but I'm not looking at them as the guaranteed victor.
Right.
They were, but that was a big signing that you hoped, I think, would do better. This is a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I think that was more of a putting them over the top kind of thing. I mean, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had a 8-game winning streak. The following year collapsed totally in the playoffs, and then had a rocky start last year before turning on the gas and getting hot at the right time. They still have one of the best rosters in the league, so it's not a fluke in any rate. So getting Saquon Barkley was really the rich getting richer in a sense. This in Green Bay is the youngest team in the league, I believe, average age wise. And they just got a 26-year-old all-pro linebacker this is the best. This is the biggest defensive player moving. I'm trying to think. This honestly might be the biggest defensive signing since Reggie White, like moving teams. And of course, it's the fucking Packers again. But I'm trying to think of like all your big giant name defensive guys. Who has anyone else let? I mean, Aaron Donald never led anywhere. Like I think this is kind of
there was one for a while I thought is the biggest move in the history of football, Ndamukong Suh going to Miami, and that didn't.
Yeah, Bears trade for Khalil Mack. That was a big one, but again, I think we'll see the outcome of this with Parsons, but that didn't really pan out. I mean, Khalil Mack has just never really been on a winner, so to speak. I don't think until he got on the Rams eventually, right? I don't know.
Was there a reason for this? Was Parsons? I don't follow the Cowboys other than Netflix doc. He was holding out. Did he want out?
So this was what we learned today from Jerry Jones and from the Cowboys camp was the reporting is that when he asked for the trade, they negotiated in April. They were not close on what Parsons wanted. Micah wanted what he got from the Cowboys, which was to be the highest paid defensive or Packers. What the hell did I say?
Cowboys.
Yeah, right. I thought I said the Pacers. I was like, what? So he could probably play basketball though. But he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the league now. That's what he wanted from the start. Cowboys were not quite there. I mean, I think they would have given him that title, but not at the money that he wanted. Lots of guaranteed money, blah, 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 right? All the boring shit. At the end of the day, the Cowboys were like, you either play on your 5th year, which is where he was at. He was on his 5th year of his contract. So he would have been a free agent next summer, right? Or you leave, which is what they told him. So he said, okay, fine, trade me. And they looked for a trading partner, and they got 2 first-round picks for him, which is a bit of a joke, honestly. Like, everyone is laughing at Jerry Jones today because you shouldn't give up the best linebacker in the league for anything less than first-round picks and then some. 3 first-round picks and then some. Like, that has to be just the floor.
Right, or get the, like the Walker trade, get the 5 players you're going to cut to get the 5 picks and completely rebuild your team. It's a different time, though. Final thought of this segment here, though. I do want to hear your theory of the Dolphins and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think, this is a little, I think with this move, this kind of just solidifies that these two, again, you're talking about 2 historically great franchises. The Cowboys are America's team, 5 Super Bowls, yada, 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 right? Like, they haven't been relevant for 30 years, yet they're still one of the most Googled football teams. People recognize the star over the world, blah, 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 blah. I still haven't seen that stupid documentary. I did watch the last 30 minutes of the recent Chiefs documentary, though, because it was all about the Super Bowl. And Ken, I wanted to have a cigarette and a sandwich after that. It was incredible. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Osvetnik and any of our other Chiefs fans in the chat. Anyway, yes, I think the theory here is that, again, these 2 once great franchises have struggled as of late. The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. They haven't been in an NFC Championship game in that time. The Miami Dolphins haven't won a playoff game this century. The Miami Dolphins are the only franchise in NFL history to go undefeated and win a Super Bowl. The Miami Dolphins, until the late 1990s, were the most winningest franchise in sports, just in general, just sports with a capital S, right?
Yeah.
Because they just dominated, right? So this weird move from the Cowboys just really solidifies the Jerry Jones effect of Jerry wants to be in the headlines and have his team talked about and have the business of the Cowboys, the brand of the Cowboys. He prioritizes that so much at the expense of winning. I think part of that is because he's already won. He already has some Super Bowls, so there's like just that the drive exactly right. He doesn't have anything to prove really. But your Dolphins are kind of in a weird purgatory spot of they can't get bad enough to really bottom out and get the next generational player. They can't get good enough because God forbid they have to play below 32 degrees. So these are just they're ones in the AFC, ones in the NFC. Huge fan bases for a long time, big national fan bases that have maybe shrunk a little bit for the Dolphins. The Cowboys are just kind of a weird brand thing, like the Lakers and the Yankees and all that kind of stuff. But here's my question. Dak for Tua, do you do it?
No. I like
Okay.
Tua enough. I like Tua enough. I think it's Tua, McDaniel, or bust, and it's a complete reset, and you draft someone.
Because my theory
With
is
a
if
new
you
coach.
put Dak and Tua on there, I could put a blindfold, or I could put a visor on them, right? For a really, really dark visor, take the nameplate off, give them the same number, and I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference in those offenses if you traded them. I'm not saying they're the same or like as good as each other. I think if you put Dak in I think Dak could do the things that McDaniel wants to do in Miami and all that kind of stuff. And I think Tua would need a little more love and care in a different system. But you're kind of getting the same thing. It's a lateral thing.
I think that's it for me. I think people are sleeping on our defense this year. And why? Ask me why, because they're great on Madden. All right?
Dude, no, I can't do left-handed quarterbacks on Madden. I'm sorry. I am an ableist if that's what you would describe that at that point, or a handist at that. I don't know. But get out of here with left-handed quarterbacks in Madden. It breaks my brain.
But you can't control them or play against them?
No, it's just both. Well, no, playing against them is one thing. That kind of doesn't really bother me. But like, unless it's Michael Vick, who I just take off and run with half the time anyway, in the old Madden 04, Tua infuriates me in Madden because like your protections are different. Like just the way that you roll out. Like I'm used to rolling out to the right and then throwing, and then if you roll out to the right with Tua and throw, you're like throwing backwards. It's just a whole thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. It takes an adjustment. Tua got hurt in my game today. Only missed a quarter, and I had Quinn Ewers in, and that it messes you a little bit. But anyways, regarding your theory, I absolutely think you're right. I think the Dolphins have been under this curse of many regime changes, few owners. They are such a respected team within the league for a lot of reasons. There's been problems over the years, and going back to even the Richie Incognito stuff, and Jonathan Martin, and other things, and with Brian Flores. Case, just the team quitting on Adam Gase. Like, there's a lot of that stuff there, but even right now, they're voted as like, yeah, that's great because of course, you just want to play at a tax-free state, income tax-free state down in Miami. Like, yeah, but no one wants to win there, and I do believe that's becoming more of a problem in this modern NFL. But I do think no one's rooting for the Cowboys or the Dolphins outside of those teams, unlike, say, the Lions, where I feel there's a lot of positive energy towards the Lions. You as an Eagle fan might not have it, but like when the Lions got better, it was like, oh, we like this. There's something we like about this.
Ken, this is what's great. This year, I get to be Don Draper in the elevator. I just get to look down at everybody and say, I don't think about you at all, whether you're the Lions or the Bills. Like, because you're right, the Lions and the Bills are the two teams everyone's all like, oh, like everyone's rooting for them because they've never won anything. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be an asshole. But right. That's why we're okay with that, right? We're okay with getting around the Lions, getting around the Bills, because they've never experienced that kind of joy or win. It's kind of thing they always get made fun of. And the Lions and the Bills were so bad for the last 25 years, really, until of recent when they got these new quarterbacks, and new coaches. So, so it's easy. It's easy. I'm one of those people that, when it comes to football, I'm a tribalist, Ken. I hate all of you except for my Eagles. I hate all of you equally, except for the NFC East teams, which I hate even more.
See, I've always been a Lions fan because of Barry Sanders. I have a lot of, I look at Washington and because of my connection to Mark Ellis, and I root for them. Not a lot of AFC teams. And like, I hate the Buffalo Bills. And if I have to hear one more, it's a working class city with a working class. Move. Okay. If it's cold and hard and great, move.
Put a damn roof on your stadium, by the way.
Yeah.
Enough.
Enough. They don't want to. They love the pain. So Buffalo love, we're just a work. Yeah, goddamn it, 10 hours down at the warehouse. I got it. I don't want your team to win anything. Yeah. Doesn't deserve. If we should contract teams in which, in the modern age, we go, that's still a city. Buffalo, it's still a city. Take their team away.
Now we're just taking shots at Buffalo. It's like Cleveland.
Come on. Cleveland. Well, Cleveland's got a lot of history in sports, but like. Tampa Bay, like they don't need a team. Like, put it back to Montreal. Like, that's what I thought. So I'm with you. All right, that's our look at sports. There, we got some calls before we go home here. We got JMB, we got Detective McCarcel. JMB calling in. Oh, sorry. Hold on, I got to get the call layout. I thought I pressed it. There we go. JMB, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Good morning here. I assume it's getting later in the evening there, especially for producer Steve.
Yep, the skunks are coming out for me. I don't know what Steve's dealing with.
I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
Three things, one real short thing. I think maybe Professor Eddie or somebody can double check me on this, but sharks only kill like 2 or 3 people a year on average.
Sorry, say again. What doesn't kill?
So sharks only kill like, I think 2 or 3, 4 people, I think, a year on average. Something like that.
Yeah.
Cows kill 22 or so. So I'm telling you, people, stay off the land. It's not the water you have to worry about. It's the land. Get off wherever it is that there's land, people.
Well, I believe your statistic, but what's? I don't mean to disrespect the dead, Steve. What is happening if cows are killing you? Are they pulling you into the grinder? What's going on?
I think people are going cow tipping and maybe it's falling on them.
Well, then they deserve that. Then they deserve that.
I don't know.
I would imagine cow deaths are related to hitting cows with a car.
I think
would probably be a big one. And then, trampling or I guess they would call them harvesting accidents, Ken, so that we can have burgers and steak.
I'm on the cow side, even though I do enjoy a good cow. All right, JMB. But look, I still think.
No, stop. You can't just roll over that. You can't say, I'm on the cow's side. However, I enjoy eating it.
Yeah.
You don't get to. Then you're not on his side. You're not on his side.
I was a full vegan for 3 years. What the fuck did you all do? You kept eating the cow. I stopped for 3 years.
So you're a quitter. Cool. Good.
JMB, Steve's an asshole. What was your question, JMB?
So the second thing is, in keeping with the video about, that you did earlier about believing in yourself, right?
Oh, yes. Thank you. The mailbag. It's up. Great question from Dr. Addy.
Yeah. So I was wondering, this could be like, it might be a complicated, factors interwoven, but like, what do you think in your case is the single biggest obstacle that stops you from realizing this? When you go, oh man, I can't do this, or I want to get this done, but I just can't, or I got a bunch of things done today, but the main things I still feel like I'm not where I need to be. Like, what is there like a single big thing, a couple of big factors?
It's every day. You're describing every day. I wake up with a clear mind and a clear heart, which sounds like I'm a football coach, but I do. And and then I have a list of things I'm trying to do today, and I accomplish it, and then at the end of the day, I go, I'm still where I was, and I got to get that video out tomorrow. Maybe there's no point. Why? It's a daily struggle. And I got a great question, I think, from Tully that I'm going to deal with on the mailbag as well about depression, and that's something I still suffer in, and how you fight through depression to remain creative, and it's tied, intrinsically tied. I can't even say the word tonight. To belief. Depression robs the belief from you, so it's a daily struggle, man, and it sometimes gets frustrating. I have to admit, Jambi.
Yeah, I do too. I think in my case, it's always been like I sort of at a younger age, I kind of taught myself not to panic, kind of sort of the British approach, keep a stiff upper lip and carry on, kind of a thing.
Sure.
Somewhere in that process, I think I lost my sense of urgency when tackling issues. Where I went from like, okay, this is a bad thing. I gotta move on this. I gotta get on this. I gotta, handle my business. To,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what happened?
Well, yeah, whatever the reasons might be, and I've been reading up on some ADHD and ADD stuff, and is the paralysis, all those kind of things. You're just feeling overwhelmed. I think that's a lot of it. Or you feel you're focused on the moment. So there's, with me, like in just my current situation of just like my future being a little cloudy about where I live and what I do and how much money I got and all that kind of stuff. Like there's times where I'll work a job or something nice happens and I go, oh, we're good. And I just kind of release. And in doing so, I don't solve my bigger answer. I just solve the present. And then that puts more pressure on the future. And then I get in that cycle again. So I got to try to break that, I guess. But yeah, I deal with that too.
Yeah. And I know like in emergency services, they talk about how, if somebody's bleeding out, you don't go, well, they've got these other symptoms and, underlying comorbidities and blah, 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 and that. You triage the now and, the whatever. But yeah, like you said, then, then that the bigger problem down the line is still looming. It's still there. And then it eventually comes down
It like a Johnny Cash song. It's coming down the mountain, coming around the bend. Great stuff. Final point. Was that
one last
two?
thing?
Yeah.
One last thing. As a fun aside, I figured you mentioned that you're taking a trip to Vegas for business related stuff.
Yep.
And I thought, well, how about a new segment called "Are You a Gambling Man?" And this would be where callers challenge Ken to a bet of some kind, and if one or the other loses, they have to document the punishment.
Okay. Well, Steve and I are going to do one for football. I think we were going to do that, Steve, but he's got a kid on the way. What's a good example? What's the bets? What are the bets, Jambi?
So one of the bizarre things I came up with, I thought was, well, what if Jared and you made a bet of some kind, and if you lost the bet, you'd have to watch a single episode of DS9 that you would then show yourself watching, right? You turn your camera to the.
What I do, JB, what I would do if that was the case, we'd do a watch along. I'd do it on the Patreon page, so you all could see that I did it. Okay.
Yeah. And then if Jared lost, I don't know,
Mhm.
he would have to stop eating mayo for a month or something.
But then we couldn't
Whatever.
document. We couldn't. I wouldn't trust him.
Well, yeah, I guess that's
Captain
true.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, but I like.
You
I
had
like.
to go. Yeah, you can work it out. You can work out the details.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. I like the idea. I like the idea, JB. You know, unfortunately, it might end up with me watching DS9, but I think it's a good concept.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this down with Steve. But thank you for calling in, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Talk
As
to you guys
always.
later.
All right, JB. You know, what do you think?
I'm always down for more gambling. So yeah, let's, as long as the stakes are right, let's do it. I dig it.
See, Addie wants me to watch Wicked. That I gotta hedge some bets, man. I used to work. There used to be a guy I used to work with. He used to do a lot of bets on his show, and he always would only make bets he was pretty sure he would win, and he'd win a lot of them. But even if he lost, he wouldn't pay up. So you know, I'll pay up though. I'll pay up.
You hedge your bets with emotion. That's what I do during the football season. If I'm like really nervous about an Eagles game, I got like some alfalfa here going on. If I'm really nervous about an Eagles game, I'll throw $50, $20 on the other team sometimes, just to be like, all right, well, you know what? We're not favored. Two things are going to happen. I'm either going to win $100 or I'll feel happy because the Eagles won. So it's, you know, you try to do that emotional hedge sometimes.
All right, I got to do some betting this year because I'm so broke. I either got to win the lottery, the Dolphins got to take me to the promised land. Laser Bolt says this is actually a brilliant idea for a segment. There you go. All right, one final call here of the night. We're almost done, but we got our health czar, and I have no problem using the word. I know czar has a lot of connotations to it, but Detective McCarsel's on. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. I guess there are worse words you could use than czar.
There are, but you know, I'm not calling you the health fascist.
Yeah, that's where I was going. But you know,
What's going on? What's on your mind today, buddy? What's your question?
I was just gonna call in and ask about the fitness journey. How's things going in the gym? How are things going on the diet? Checking in, doing my job as the czar.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you doing that. Things are doing good. Tonight is I'm not lifting tonight. I've lifted the last 3 days. Which, man, I sound like a Cybertruck when I say that, but I am going to go for a walk tonight.
I can hear your little ball with the little bottle with the medicine ball shaking in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that what Travis says to Taylor? I lifted tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to go for a walk tonight, maybe about a 3-mile walk tonight after the show ends here. Health is the diet has been the best part, Michael. That is obviously how people turn the corner, right? You can work out a lot. In fact, over the last couple of years, I enjoy working out. I enjoy going for walks. I enjoy hitting. I have a gym in my house that I've built that's pretty robust, but it's the intensity is the difference. But it comes down to the diet, right? Like as the health czar, it's what you put into your chomper.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's. I mean, had struggles with alcoholism in the past, but it's also a big reason for me quitting drinking is that. Oh,
see, here we got. Here we go, Steve. He's making me feel guilty for what I said earlier in the show.
Hey, yeah, look, no, I was fully an alcoholic for years, so it's fine.
Which is a good choice.
Also,
to not be.
I sleep better, your metabolism does a lot of different things when you're not drinking on a daily or semi-daily basis. So it just helps.
And the water, I tell you what, I've been telling you all. We talked about these Stanley cups or whatever, which is they got to have a different brand name for those. Just makes me think of Yarmir yogurt. But the amount of water I'm drinking, Michael, my skin is buoyant. It's just bouncy.
You mean dewy, maybe, or glistening?
No, it's like boing. It's like it glistens. Yeah, I'm
floating?
sweating.
Your skin is floating.
It's like, it's buoyant, man. It's like up. It's up just because all this water. Steve recognizes it. He just won't admit it in public.
Your skin's regaining some of the elasticity.
Yeah, okay. That sounds like something a health czar would say.
Look. As long
but
as
it's
you're
good.
Feeling better. That's important.
Other than the stress that racks my soul for most of the day, no, good. And the eating's doing good. And what I like about my change in diet is it's not a giant pendulum swing in I'm going to fix everything. Last night I had some ice cream, which you'll all see in a video coming out on Monday. It was ice cream that I had to try and review. So I did it, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Today we didn't go crazy. You know, today was a bowl of strawberries for breakfast. I didn't run down to McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, And that's what's different right now. That's what I feel the change is, Michael, for me, as opposed to the years past. The best shape I was in was like my first few months at Collider. Lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of muscle mass. But I was like doing that hyper intense, like, Ken, what are you having for lunch? Can of tuna. And I just be in the parking lot eating tuna. Like, like that doesn't work unless you're like training to be in the UFC or something. You know what I mean? Like, and
it'll get some results. It'll get some very drastic and immediate results, but they are not long lasting or sustainable. Like
Steve, by the way, Steve's giggling, but I just told you all a 100% true story. I was in the Collider parking lot just eating tuna from a can.
That is lukewarm car tuna. What are we doing?
It is a little disturbing.
Yeah, but that was my point.
To say the least.
And it worked. Car. Yeah, because if you go look at Collider footage from like late 2016, early 2017, like I'm really thin. Like there's in schmoes. Like I would wear polo shirts because my arms could fill them out. All those things, and then it just collapsed, right? Because it's not sustainable. It's not a change in your approach. It's just a big wild swing to the left, and eventually you're going to be face first into two whoppers. And that's the way you stay. So that's kind of what happened. And then it just bottomed out this year. And finances have a lot to do with it, which we've talked about before. But, a lot of stuff going on in my life this year, including a little lack of finances, including big changes in my life. I was putting in 2 DiGiorno pizzas, personal size, Steve, and downing those for lunch and then coming back and having something similar for dinner. And that's obviously going to be have a negative effect. And that's where I was in mid-June. So I'm happy, Michael, that I feel I'm in a sustainable kind of mode right now.
Oh yeah, look, the sustainability is important because you're right. If you do a crash diet, it does a lot of things, and you're gonna eventually swing back into the bad habits because you need to steadily build into the good habits. You can't just like anyone that just goes keto out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Usually, what happens is they drop many pounds, mostly water weight.
Yes. Yeah.
Their body is starting to freak out. You can't sustainably do something like keto for long without long-term health risks. Because your body does need carbs. I know carbs are bad, sugar's bad, whatever, quote unquote. But you do need them. You need them for all of your metabolic processes. And all the fad crash diets just they work.
Yeah.
In the immediate, and then there's always a risk.
Look, we need to get some capital, and the first thing is we get some capital. I'll finally pay Steve, and then we develop a Blathering health app, and then you pop up every day. Hi, it's me, your health czar. Maybe we'll change the name. We'll workshop it, and then we just have workout routines and diet. We just basically what we're starting to build on Discord. We'll move it to an app form. We'll all be rich. We'll share the profits. We're socialists here.
Perfect. Look. Perfect. I need something to pay my way through school and replace my shitty car. So
there you go. We do have a question for you from Laserbolt. It says, Mike, have you ever tried intermittent fasting? Thoughts?
I wasn't as good at it as I would have liked to be, but I did do it for a while, mostly in probably the worst parts of my depression. So.
Okay.
It is something that, again, if you can do it for a little while to kind of as a way of starting the process, that's a good idea. But I don't recommend things like that for like years on end, indefinitely kind of thing.
Now, what if you have a lot? What if you have a lot of forest meats?
It's just straight protein, so
Oh, okay, that's good. All right. That's what you're okay.
But I do admittedly still at least stop eating at a decent time at night because it is better for you to not late night snack and all that. Like I tend to stop eating around 7:30 my time.
Okay.
I at least usually try to get to bed by real emphasis on try by like 10:30, 11. Okay. But now I have to get backstage. They've heard about it by parking issues at LSU, but I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning now, Monday through Friday, just to get a parking spot. And I get to pay at the meter instead of having a student pass because, again, a long story. So everything is just
Yeah.
Crazy
All
right
right. All right. This is great. Laserbolt, thank you for that question. Love it. Yeah, yeah. It's the toughest thing for me. I don't do a lot of food. But like the other night I was so busy, finished working, finished blathering, finished all that stuff. I sat down at dinner at 9 o'clock. Like that's the first time I had a chance to eat since like lunch. And so like I got one friend who's like a fitness guy, and he was single, and I was trying to set him up with maybe another friend. And then like she read his like post. She's like, "Have you seen what this guy does? No food after like 6:05 p.m. Like I can't be with this guy. I can't be with this guy."
That's
You're
a
right.
special kind of extreme. That's just if
is.
he ever expects to be with anyone, he's going to have to maybe dial that back. Hey, he probably just needs to go to therapy anyway. So
That's probably the answer for a lot of us guys. And here's Rads at 2:45. Michael, I appreciate this. This is great. We should do regular check-ins here. And also, I'm not just selling you all my Patreon page, though. It would be awesome if you're watching and you're not joined to get in there if you can. Times are tough, but we do have the Discord, the Blathering Health Club, and the Blathering Science Club, and more clubs. We got sports. We got stuff going on there. So, any final thoughts, Michael, before we start wrapping this up?
full disclosure, I'm not actually a personal trainer. So
Well, but you do this. This isn't official medical advice.
yeah,
I get that.
just
I
making sure
appreciate the
everyone
legal
knows.
disclaimer.
But yeah, no, yes, I work at a gym. I've been lifting and I've been exercising all my life. I was did martial arts since I was 3. So like fitness has always been a thing for me, but like hardcore serious, like lifting, all that. Yes, I've been at it for about a decade and at least researching diet stuff. But like, again, always recommend talking to your doctor about these kinds of things.
There you go.
Because obviously, hey, not all of us have health insurance, present company included.
I have it for now, but we'll see next year. No, I appreciate you, Michael. You and our buddy Adam Knight always have a lot of good advice. You all should team up, actually for a wrestling match, but also for a segment as well.
He can probably throw me like Colossus does Wolverine. Fastball.
That's fair. That means you take all the work in the match. You're a tag team. If you're a tag team, you'll take all the heat. Don't worry. I got it figured.
We'll figure it out. We'll
all right.
figure it out.
Thank you, Detective.
See you guys.
All right, we're out of here. I know Aiden and Hugo were trying to call in. We'll get you in. Call in on Saturday. We're going to do an hour of power, but the non-alcoholic version. Thanks to James Holmes again for gifting 5 membership subs. So if you get that membership, you can call in here on the YouTube channel as well. All right, we did a lot today. Steve, this is a great episode. Not one crackle. You notice that? Not one crackle tonight.
Fingers crossed it continues. Knock on wood, it all worked. No, happy to hear the things are working well. So that's good, Ken. Very good.
Really encouraging. I appreciate you, buddy, as always. We kid. But we covered a lot of ground. The serious stuff, the even more serious stuff with Taylor and Travis, and all the things in between. And you insulted my Dolphins, and I think you're right. So I think it's good.
I'm a truth teller, Ken. At least I try to be. No, we had a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Yeah, please check out the Discord if you guys are not already in there. Like Ken said, get in on the Patreon so you can get in there. Fantasy football is coming up, so sign up by Saturday. I won't be on the Saturday show, the 7 o'clock Eastern, but sign up for fantasies. I'm gonna do the counting on Saturday, so you need to be in the Discord and have yourself accounted for by Saturday, and then details will follow after that.
I got to remember to do that too, because I've got to beat Laserbolt fantasy football this year. Is it head to head or points?
It's gonna be head to head. So we're gonna do yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, that sometimes hurts at the end of the season when you've got like Peyton Manning and he sits for 2 games. Oh, it's a problem. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. Do that. Check it out there. And Blathering Backstage is going good. In fact, you guys had a record turnout the other night. I did swing in. I was joking a little bit. I actually heard your story, Detective McCarsell, about your parking problems. I was just playing along there. You guys had record views for live show, and you have the most views, I think, yet on an episode after. It's been inspiring to watch the gaming, the community. It's all going on over there. So subscribe to that channel. Link down here on YouTube as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're trying to beat Zelda Ocarina of Time before I have a child, so we will continue that tomorrow.
That's the stuff Robert F. Kennedy Jr. warns us about. Your metacarsals are broken. Adults playing games.
Get your midichlorians checked, everybody.
All right, we'll see everybody. Bye.
and love. Peace and love.